What is up, homies? So we are here for an update for the bossing week of September 8th. So I would say my last week's update was inaccurate because I thought I was going to take it easy on bossing meals, and what I did instead was I ramped it up. Working on my Hoyoung. This is going to be my last day for my Hoyoung for a while. It is still doing up to Enlomian. I'm working on improving its burst rotation. Is still currently 14.5k stat, and here are the nodes. Here are the hypers. If I can do things efficiently, I should be closer to where my arc and pathfinder are, so that's still a work in progress in terms of just Young specific mechanics. I don't think I need to spend any more. I'll probably wait for 5, 10, 15 just to finish up my earrings. I really wanted to just tap it off event, but it already ate 3 bill. Don't want to touch that again. And then shoulders will be done with the CRA fodder shoulders later on. The Hoyoung's basically done now. Just gonna slowly work on the symbols, and then 2 stars here and 5 stars here, and that should be it. Then next character is my Buccaneer. Alright, so my Buccaneer, it is 13.4k stat without Maple Warrior. I actually did some limit testing. If you had the chance, you would have seen it clear Lotus and Damien. The amount of time it took in Damien makes it not as worth for me to do at the moment, so I don't think I'll be doing Damien again this week. I'll definitely do Lotus. I think a 11-minute run is definitely worth within my time. I think once I get 4 sets superior though, it'll be a much faster run, and then I think I will start doing Damien again. Until then, it will be just up to Lotus. And I do it within, I would say, reasonable amount of time. I think it's like about 35 minutes to kill up to Lotus. Spending that 13 minutes in Damien, it really isn't fun. And then once I fix a few things, I'm missing a few stars. Want to fix my emblem. I do have a second emblem because of the Explorer Terror Burn, so I just keep throwing red cubes on there, and I hope for something better. Until then, just sticking with this 1-line attack, 2-line damage. In terms of nodes, I have not spent any more nodes, so it's going to stay like this for a while because it's more than enough to clear the bosses. And then here are the hyper skills. So Buck is now a Lotus Mule instead of just a Catchy Mule, which is pretty nice. Dark Knight. So the main thing for my Dark Knight right now is it's sort of in the same sort of bucket as my Buccaneer, except it actually has 4 sets superior. What I'm mostly missing on my Dark Knight at the moment is levels. Once I hit level 220, I'll have the full FD bonus compared to my Buck, which already has it, so there's about 10% FD I'm still missing. Currently 11.4k stat. Here are the hyper stats. Here are the nodes. Don't plan to do any more changes to the nodes. I think this is more than enough for Lomian. I am pretty content with this for the most part. And what's left is a few upgrades to the gear. So still waiting on Latch symbol, level up my VJ and Chi Chi symbol a bit. Missing stars across the board. And not everything is that ideal 15% that I would like. So I still am waiting to gather up some more Boston cubes, and I can throw that onto here. once everything is unique to line, I think it'll be a fairly fast boss run. And I don't really plan to do any more star forcing until most likely no boom room, which will let me push some of these 12 stars to 15, and then I get a fodder shoulder for my Absolab shoulders as well. So I did do Lotus. I didn't want to do Damien because Lotus already took 11 minutes. I feel like if I took the time to do Damien, it probably would take closer to 15, and I definitely don't think that's worth my time. Until most likely next month, it is going to be another Lotus Mule. If you haven't had the chance, go ahead and check out that video and you can see how Lotus went on my Dark Knight. Next is my Shadower. Shadower is missing a lot of stuff across the board. So currently 8.6k stat, missing a lot of Arcane Force. Here are the hyper stats. The nodes are in a good spot. I probably can level it some more, but I feel like once I fix up my gear, it should be more than strong enough for Lomian. I am missing a lot of potentials on here. So not everything is two-line unique. Just usually where I like to set things at. Some things are still epic, so I'm still working on getting boss cubes to tear this up. Since Dark Knight is a higher level, I have that a higher priority than this. Once I finish my Dark Knight, I'll put a bit more effort into my Shadower. But until then, Shadower is still sort of sitting in the back seat, chilling at Akechi. But the next goal would be to clear Lotus at least. Then once I clear a comfortable sub 10 Lotus run, then I'll start working on Damien. But till then, I need to work a lot more on the Arcane Force, a bit on the potentials, and then getting to Latch for full FD since I'm only 210 instead of 220. Ice Lightning. So for my Ice Lightning, I actually spent a lot more nodes on here than I would for most classes. It is currently sitting at 7.2k stat. It is using the 9 set boss accessory, but I'm missing a lot of stars here. Everything is 12 stars on here, and most of it is still epic or rare. In terms of bosses it can do, I can comfortably do up to 3 doors. Trying to do CVEL is a bit long. It'd be like a 10-minute CVEL run, which I don't think is quite worth my time. Just doing up to 3 doors is enough, so I get about half a bill in less than half an hour worth of time. So until then, I'm just working on getting it Golex runs for coins, and I'll slowly get more stars on here and more Arcane Force. In terms of the nodes, it's actually much higher than most characters. I actually have 40 boost, so I get the bonus ID on here, and then that's pretty much it. So I just need 10 more levels, a bit of stars on my gear, potting it up, but this is most likely just going to wait for no boom room and sit at CRA. And then it has the normal 2 IED familiars, has the Phantom Force medal, and the Monad title. Oh. So after the Ice Lightning, I have my Demon Slayer, which I chose to hard fund just because Demon Slayer is one of the easier boss mules. So the Demon Slayer is currently level 220. It is at 11.9k stat. It comfortably does up to a catchy at the moment. In terms of the gear, most of the accessories are still 12 stars, except this ring. Belts 17, weapon 17, 12, 12. Got a lot of farming gear on here just because I wanted to have another farmer, so I decided to have that as my Demon Slayer. Definitely over geared in terms of potential and stars, but that just means it'll be a more comfortable run once I get 4 set superior. So this is what the gear looks like today, or sorry, the nodes. And I do up to catching about roughly half an hour. I think if I finish my superior gear, I think I only have one item right now. Actually, I have two, so I'm waiting on coins for this pendant and ring. And then once I swap to 4 set superior, I might try to do Lomian. I think once I get some more stat though, I probably will get this to be a Lotus Mule soon. Until then, it'll just chill at a catchy until I feel like it's at a comfortable pace. Next character is my marksman. For my marksman, I funded it similarly to my Ice Lightning. I don't have the slots all filled in just because I don't have a 4th event ring. But right now, I have 7.6k stat. I comfortably do up to 3 doors. I am able to kill H-Mag and C-Val, but it takes a bit too long. Not a fast enough time where I'd be willing to do it for Meso. And here's the gear. A lot of the gear still needs to be tiered up. So I do have a few handful of 16s on here, but there are still plenty of rares to go around because I do plan to fodder into it. And then the secondary does need work to be at least legendary, so it's not quite there yet. I do up to 3 doors comfortably in less than half an hour, so with this and the Ice Lightning, it's roughly a bill for 1 hour of work. In terms of the nodes, here are the nodes now. I'm actually pretty close to 40 boosts. I might just throw in a few nodes, some more here later. When I did CRA bossing last week, I actually didn't know how to play marksman correctly. I think once I play again for this upcoming bossing week, it should be faster. We'll see how that goes. Last but not least is my shade. So with the most recent patch, I already decided to have a shade bossing mule just because I wanted to level it to 250 as a legion mule. But because it's actually relatively strong in terms of its damage output, I do plan to speedrun this to Lomian. I haven't put any hypers yet. Haven't done too much bossing on it. I do need to finish Choo Choo pre-quests, and I need to go through and finish some gear upgrades. So the gear as it is at the moment, running that same 9-set boss accessory because I do not have superior gear. I'm hoping while I'm speedrunning this, it'll become a Lomian level meal soon compared to other ones just because Shade is fairly strong at the moment. We'll see how it goes. So in terms of bossing mules, I am running 14 characters of bossing every week. So that means I am making a grand total of 15.5 bill, almost 15.6 bill a week. So I went up almost 2 bill by introducing 4 new bossing mules. So I'll get my return back in about 5 weeks or so, just for the amount of meso I spent on them. which I think is not that bad of a return. And hopefully I get all of these to Lomian level, which will bring me up to a total of 20 bill per week. I do want to introduce maybe one or two new bossy mules, and then I can wean out HHilla and Chaos Pink Bean. We'll see how that goes because I am running out of nodes. And once I have enough bossy mules, I do want to start funding my jet again to be able to solo H Slomian. It was close to soloing Hard Damien, but I timed out with 8% of its health left. I'm just lacking a little bit of more damage. Anyway, that's it for this week's update. Everything's just slowly aiming towards Lomian, and hopefully I make a bit more progress once we hear of another Star Force event soon. I think I might be doing a limit test on another 220 character once it gets there, just to see if it can clear Lotus. If it's at least 10-minute clear, then I'll start doing that weekly. Anyway, thanks for coming for this week's update. Catch you next week. See ya, homies.